To mark the 200th anniversary of the founding of the town of Greece, the Greece Historical Society presents a Bicentennial Snapshot. Each week we take a look at a particular aspect of Greece history. This week we consider Sam and Lydia and George and Frances Latta. One of the most enterprising and prominent of the first settlers of Charlotte was Samuel Latta. He was born 14th of April, 1776 in Wallkill, Ulster County, New York, to James and Sarah Jackson Latta. He was an agent for Oliver Phelps and Nathaniel Gorham in the sale of lands in this part of their purchase. He built the first warehouse at the mouth of the Genesee River, which was the first in all of this part of the country. Sam Latta became the first collector of the port after the establishment of a custom house. He was appointed by President Thomas Jefferson in 1805 with an effective date of January 17, 1806. Samuel was living in Geneva at the time, but moved to Charlotte on May 13, the day after making Lydia Arnold his wife. Lydia Arnold was born in Manchester, Vermont on January 19, 1786. She was the daughter of Daniel Arnold and Esther Fox Arnold. She was Sam's second wife. They would have 8 children, but many of them did not survive to adulthood. When James Madison took office in 1809, Sam lost his political appointment and went back to private life as a warehouse and tavern owner. Sam Latta surveyed and laid out a road from the river to Parma. He named it after his father. So whenever you travel on Latta Road, you are driving along one of the oldest routes in the county, and indeed western New York. In 1810, Latta served as the supervisor for the town of Northampton, which today contains the towns of Greece and Gates. It was one of many civic positions to which he was elected. Sam Latta was another veteran of the War of 1812. He was one of the valiant 33 when the British arrived at the mouth of the Genesee on May 14, 1814. But that wasn't the first encounter with the British for Sam and Lydia. When British Commander James Yeo and his Marines landed in Charlotte on the afternoon of June 15, 1813, they held the residents prisoner in one of 2 houses so that no one could alert the militia. One of the houses was the Samuel Latta home. All night, a sentinel walked up and down the hall of the residence. A British soldier remarked to Mrs. Latta, "You did not think yesterday this time that tomorrow you'd be walking with a British soldier." Sam and Lydia's house was on what today is the southwest corner of Latta Road and Lake Avenue. It still stands and is the second oldest house in the county. Sam died on February 4, 1827 at age 50. His widow Lydia married John Beals in 1839. She died November 26, 1866 at age 80. They are buried together in the Charlotte Cemetery. Born in 1795, George C. Latta was 19 years younger than his brother Sam. At about the age of 15, he came to live with Sam and his wife Lydia. In 1811, he found a position working as a clerk in the Frederick Bushnell and James Guernsey mercantile business in Charlotte. For the first 10 years, George was paid $50 a year along with board. That increased to $200 and board during the next 10 years, what in those days were considered good wages. By 1835, he was a partner, and after Bushnell's death, operated the business by himself. He was a veteran of the War of 1812 while still a teenager, and like his brother, one of the valiant 33. He was Greece Town's supervisor from 1845 to 1849, a trustee of his church, and he donated the land for the Charlotte Cemetery. George Latta was an entrepreneurial powerhouse. He was the quintessential self-made man. The broad range of Latta's investments included mercantile, forwarding, manufacturing, farming, and nursery concerns. His activities had an impact on the social, political, and economic affairs of Charlotte. One historian wrote, "His financial success was due in large part to his capacity to anticipate and encourage developments. He accomplished this by maintaining close association with those in power and by his capacity to take calculated risks on his own behalf and that of his community, Charlotte." Here is a stock certificate for the Rochester and Greece Plank Road he helped finance. The 8-mile road stretched from today's Dewey Avenue to the port. George married Frances Mann on 19th of November, 1839, when he was 44 years old. They had 9 children, of whom 5 survived to adulthood. George died at the age of 71 on November 26, 1871. His wife lived until the age of 88, dying in 1902. You can read more about the Lattas and other first families of Greece in the Society's newest publication, Pioneer Families of the Town of Greece, Volume 1. Thanks for joining us this week. Next time we take a look at the Ridge. This is Maureen Whalen, inviting you to join us next Tuesday for another Bicentennial Snapshot presented by the Greece Historical Society.
Want to learn more from the Greece Historical Society and Museum? Then click that subscribe button for more content and hit that bell icon to get notified when there's more Bicentennial Snapshots. You can visit us on the web at greecehistoricalsociety.org. You can find us on Facebook at Greece Historical Society. You can follow us on Twitter at GreeceNYHistory, and you can stop in at the Greece Historical Society at 595 Long Pond Road.